Buongiorno, this is Getrude Matshe here on the Italian Book Club. Today we have an amazing author by the name of William Riegler, based in Japan, and the author of an amazing book called Living My Ecstatic Life. William, welcome to the show.
Buongiorno, buongiorno Italia.
Tell me about your book, William. You have been on an amazing journey with this book.
Yes.
Let's just go back to the beginning, and if you could just explain to our listeners what inspired you to this book.
What inspired me to the book is about 6-7 years ago, I went to a Jack Canfield seminar in the United States. He's the best-selling author for the Chicken Soup series. And I went to a series of his seminars called Breakthrough to Success. And those seminars are how to become successful in your life. And most people go there wanting to become a millionaire. And I wanted to become a millionaire. So he said, you have to walk the walk. And so I went out and bought brand new clothes and got out my gold necklaces from the 90s, and I wanted to walk the walk. And I walked in the door the first day and I felt so uncomfortable, but I loved the seminar, got so much inspiration. That night, back in my hotel room, I couldn't stop the messages in my head. It was like I was channeling messages to tell me, this is not your path. Start the walk for peace. Start the worldwide walk for peace. And it just went on and on in detail. And so the next morning I came back to the seminar, and by chance Chaka Khan, the very famous recording artist, just came out and started talking about her book. And I felt so inspired, and there were so many people when we arrive at our chairs, and they have gifts of CDs and DVDs and books they've written, and I had nothing to give, but I wanted to give. So I went across the street to Staples, which is a stationery store in the United States, and I asked, do you have those magic pens that you can write on cloth, because I want to make a peace t-shirt. I'm going to start a movement. And the man showed me the magic pens, and then I said, well, do you know where I could get t-shirts? And he said, wow, synchronicity. Actually, I wholesale t-shirts as my side job. And I said, well, what do you got? And he said, well, I have 2 for $5 or 3 for $10. Which would you like? And I was thinking about it, and 2 for $5, 3 for $10. What's the better deal? And all of a sudden, in the background music, the woman that I had just seen in the seminar, Chaka Khan's music, came on the loudspeakers, and it's, you know the song, I'm every woman, it's all in me. Well, I'm a terrible singer, so you'll have to forgive that. But I'm not every woman, but that song is so powerful, it moved me to a giving moment. And I decided, 2 for $5, 3 for $10. Can you get me 280 extra large white t-shirts for the entire group? And he said, by when? And I said, tomorrow. And he said, okay. So the next morning I went to the hall, and they hadn't received the t-shirts, and I checked with the hotel, and someone had put them in storage. And they were all in bulk. They were not nicely wrapped in plastic. So I think they had problems at first, but when I gave it to them, and when we came in, it looked like in the auditorium, snow had fallen over all the chairs. And Jack came on the loudspeaker and wished us good morning, and he said, well, as you can see, it snowed last night. I don't know why. William, can you tell us why it snowed last night? And I went up on stage and took the mic, and I told them about my vision the night before. And I said, I'm starting the Walk for Peace, and I've given you a white t-shirt. Later, if you want to write Walk for Peace on it, that'd be great. And the reason I gave it to you is right now in this inspiring moment, you are you've got everything you need to start a new life. But after 3 or 4 months, if your energy starts to wane, I want you to take out your extra large white t-shirt and wrap yourself in 280 hugs, because we always have hug time in the morning, and that will supercharge you to realize your dream. Well, everyone was so shocked that a normal participant would be that giving. Then there were so many people crying and came up to me afterwards and thanked me and started writing on their t-shirts. So that was my start with a Walk for Peace. Then I wanted to
Now you took it to the next level, didn't you?
in giving, and the thing I
You
noticed
took it to the next level.
yes, the thing I noticed in giving is,
So let's talk a little bit about what happened with the natural disasters in Japan with the tsunami.
certainly, well, it was very shocking. I mean, we literally got thousands of shocks after the big shock, and everyone went through a very hard time. Mentally, I'm about 200 kilometers from the epicenter, and so I wasn't at the time as worried about the nuclear problem, and our buildings weren't damaged as they were in that area, but a lot of the pavement was broken on the highways and streets. And more than that, the people's spirit was broken. We would go into the markets, and there had been hoarding, so there was like almost no food, and we had to save on electricity, so the lights were on half lighting, dimly lit supermarkets. It was like Japan became a third world country overnight. People lost themselves. They didn't know what to do. They're usually on a very tight, busy, fast schedule, and all of a sudden the world stopped. So when you lose your balance, you lose your purpose. It's scary for them.
Well, what spurred you to take action and to do something to help with the relief efforts?
Well, I went in on Monday morning to all of my classes. I teach about 725 Japanese elementary school and kindergarten students. I teach them how to love English. And I just decided, let's don't talk about English today. Let's talk about the quake. And they all wanted to tell their personal stories. And at the end, I said, well, what do you think we should do? And they said, well, we want to help, but we don't have any money. So that really touched my heart, and I thought the rest of the day, what could I do? And until now, I had done two charity concerts. One I did 25 years before for Africa Aid, and we sent a tractor and parts and medicine to Ghana. And the next one I did 22 years ago was for India, and we built a school in India. And it had been so long since I did a concert, but I thought, well, I could create a charity concert, and I could make a stage where my children could get on stage and sing for the cause. And of course, that'll bring their parents to come and sit in the seats, which will sell more tickets, and it will sow the seeds of service in the hearts of the children. That was my bigger purpose. So I set on a journey I wanted, if possible, I wanted African music included. And just as I went on the journey for it took about 11 months. I went to 7 countries collecting data. I decided in the concert, I wanted to impress the children that it's important to have a big dream. So I went skydiving and videotaped it and made a tape called Dream Big to show them on the stage at the end of the concert so they would have a takeaway. And so I created the charity concert, and 160 of my students decided to perform on stage.
Wow. Wow. And now you're at this point where you're contributing again through your book towards children and children's education, correct?
Yes, that's correct. I've decided to give 20 for the first year to give 25% of the profits of this book to the NPO Walk for Peace, which I have now been the founder and been running for 7 years. We, for the concert, we took the money and sent it to northeastern Japan, and the other half of the concert money I took myself and hand carried to Thailand because they had had the big flood in September of the same year. And I took the money and saw it turned into eyeglasses and medicine and books and food and blankets, and I just saw how hope could be restored to people who had lost everything. And that spurred me on. So after I did that, I thought, well, why stop there? Why not put it all in a book? And then I can use the book as a social platform to raise more money. So now my current project, the third prong project, is an orphanage in Zimbabwe. And at this orphanage, there are children who have 70% of them has lost one or both of their parents to AIDS. And in Zimbabwe, it's a different culture, it's a different government, and there's no one to pick up the slack. So there are grandmothers who are raising whole families of children by themselves. There are children a little bit older that are now the mothers and fathers. It's a really hard situation, and it breaks my heart. So I'm having a book launch, and the proceeds from the book launch I'm going to hand carry myself in June to Zimbabwe and see how it's changed, and then put the photos on the site. So anyone who contributes to the book gets life-changing messages in the book, and their hearts go to Africa. And later on the website, they can see photos of where their money went. I'm a grassroots operation, and you'll see exactly where your money went.
Fantastic. Well, William, thank you so much for coming online today and sharing your inspiring message. I really hope that people are going to buy this book and help and support your efforts. And good luck. I believe the book will be translated into different languages, starting perhaps with Japanese, coming to Italian, French, German, and maybe by the end of the year it will be all over Europe. So well, thank you again.
I have a very strong connection with Italy. My heritage is Italian, and I love Italian food, and I've been to Venice and Rome and Florence, and I love Italian food and interior design. So to everyone in Italy, ti amo.
Thank you, William.